All right, Dan, we are live now.
We are live. I'm pretty excited this morning, Ollie, as you can obviously see. Ollie brings it all together. Ollie is the man. Thank you, Ollie.
You're
Welcome
welcome.
to another AMA. I was really looking forward to this one this week. A big time. I think we got a lot to cover, a lot of ground to go over. We're going to do some AMA live here today as well, so get your questions ready. We'll start out with a couple housekeeping. Like and share. Let's get that attendance up on this. Let's spread the word about Flux. So everybody watching right now, like, share. Do it now. Okay, awesome. This AMA, I wanted to just bring up a couple things at the beginning. If you haven't checked out Ryan Matta's YouTube channel, he's been doing amazing content on Flux, KDA, Cadix, Zelcor. We had the man, the myth, the legend, Parker on there the other day. Ali, I don't know if you saw that, but that was pretty badass. It was good. So take a moment and go over and subscribe, because I will be doing some additional content. We're going to talk about proof of work. We're going to talk about proof of useful work. We're going to talk about Flux OS. We're going to talk. I mean, there's a ton of stuff we're going to be working with Ryan on to disseminate content. So good guy. YouTube is at Ryan space Matta. Check it out. The AMA today is brought to you by Flux Labs. Almost said Zell Labs. I got to get used to that. Still, even today. Flux Labs, they'll be the ones that are donating the 100 Flux for giveaway. If you haven't signed up for that, sign up for it. And you also have to be on the AMA to win. So don't sign up and then go do the dishes or take the dog for a walk. You have to be here listening to this stuff for sure. Fluxlabs.net. Brand new back end and front end coming very soon. They also reward in parallel assets. They also have a loyalty rewards points, and soon there's going to be an announcement about some really big things over there to make sure that we continue to keep incentivizing. But spread the hash. If you're a miner, pick a small pool, put some hash there, help the project out. You can do it. I know you can. I want to give another shout out to, we have 2 swag stores that are coming online. One is online and one will be online today. So we got gotflux.store. You can go there and you can buy your Dan Thanos shirt. Ali, I think I'm going to have to buy one just for the AMAs. So it's kind of weird and my kids are all creeped out by it, but hey, that's kind of cool. So, yeah, we got a lot going on. So without further ado, let's dig into it, guys. We're super excited. This week has been these past couple weeks have been massive. I'm going to skim the top of it and really kind of just, go through what has been happening. And we added an additional pair on KuCoin for BTC, which was a smashing success. We continue to increase our volume across the board. Increased volume always brings additional visibility to different different exchanges, different people. And then right in the toe of that, Crypto.com added us to their DeFi projects, which is kind of cool as well. So we had a couple nice little ads there. Again, like with Ryan Matt has been doing a lot of videos about the different parts of Flux and Zelcor and things like that. Check those out. Stex Exchange, one of the OG exchanges, added a USDT pair, so that's big news. And we'll have more information coming out about as we continue to keep pressing forward with new exchanges. So we're really the winds at our back at this point in time, which is always good, and pretty excited about what's coming down the pike. Let me see what else we have. Ollie, I'm just scrolling through like these 1 billion announcements. So we talked about the Crypto.com. CoinRequest has added support for all Flux, parallel assets, BUSD, Solana, Raptorium, NKN, and KDA. That's just, so if you haven't checked out CoinRequest, coinrequest.io. So that's all a little stuff I have at the beginning. Ollie, let's start off with some of those questions.
Sure. So let's start with this first question here. Let me something here. Let's see. All right. So the first question is, let me put this on the screen. All right. All right. So it says, are there any plans to make a DEX out of Zelcore where Zelcore users exchange coins amongst themselves? It's probably talking about the fusion kind of.
Yeah, really, that's what Fusion is. For all intents and purposes, Fusion can really do any particular asset. So as we continue to develop Fusion out, you're going to see tethered pairs, you're going to see other assets, BTC, you're going to see some pieces that we're putting together for the Cadena team and the Cadix team. So some of their assets that'll be listed in their DEX model will continue to keep supporting that. So it's kind of different because because we have Zelcore, we have that outlet to be able to put these assets in there. Right now, we're capitalizing on the best of both centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. So yeah, you're going to continue to see that being developed out. I say it all the time. Fusion is the unsung hero of this project. It's what really bridges the gaps between all DeFi and conventional centralized exchanges and DeFi exchanges and all that kind of stuff. So Fusion is probably it's a game changer. It's a big deal. So yeah, I think you'll see more development around that.
All right. So the next question is, when will be the 30 dApps launching on Flux?
What we're doing in December, we're doing the 30 on 30. It won't be necessarily 30. It's kind of crazy because we got to give the guys time for Christmas with their family and things like that. So we might double them up. You might get two dApps in one day, and then the next day on Christmas Day you might not get one, and then maybe the day after Christmas you'll get two, and then you'll get another break in there. But we want to make sure the guys have time to spend with their family because that's super important. But we're super excited about dropping the 30 and 30. You're going to see some really awesome content coming out. One of the things that I'm super excited about and what Trunk has been asking for from day one is the Counter-Strike server. So sorry, Little Stash. I already kind of leaked that somewhere else. I'll tell you. But a lot of guys are into Counter-Strike. But the big thing about it is the new Minecraft servers as well. So those are a couple little leaks of some of the things we're going to do, which are really going to be awesome. So yeah, this December, man, looking forward to it.
All right. So the next question is, when next exchange?
Oh, if I knew that, right, we'd all be millionaires, right? Because we'd know before. The thing about exchanges is they don't tell you till it happens, and we've had a couple big announcements, and I think they'll probably I'm safe to say that we'll continue to keep having those announcements moving forward because of the traction that we've been continuing to gain. Super bullish. I can't believe just how much attention we've been number one or number two or number three multiple weeks on Lunar Crush and their social aggregation model. So people are talking about Flux. They're finding Zelcore for the first time. They're figuring out how to run Flux nodes. They're figuring out what Flux OS. We have devs coming in every single day asking to develop on the project. We're going to really make a mad push here coming into the end of this year into next. I think 2022 is going to be a banner year for this project. I think we're gonna shake shit up. So let's do it.
All right. So the next question is there any thoughts on YubiKey integration?
That's already working. I'm like 99.9% because Parker's doing it himself. So probably what we need to do is get more visibility around that and maybe do hey, Goose, if you're listening, a video on YubiKey would be badass. And Goose is actually going to rejoin the team. He's coming back from a nice little hiatus, so we're planning on some good content coming up from Goose. Everybody loves the guy, and we're glad to have him back. So, hey, Goose, that's one to think about.
All right. So next question is, now that the Flux has gained momentum, have you had any notable companies or individuals reach out to you this month about building a project with Flux?
Yes. And I can't say anything else other than that, unfortunately, because NDAs are really important in this industry. When somebody's looking to work with you or vetting you out, that's one of the very first things you have to do. You have to have an NDA in place to be able to have those conversations. But I will say this. The attention that Flux has garnered is on a different level than I've ever seen as long as I've been part of this project. I literally, the community and what the community has done, and the team and what they've built is finally dead center in the middle of what Web3 will be. And for all intents and purposes, Flux has first mover advantage. We clearly are the most decentralized. It's not even close. There's not even a project out there that is even close to doing what we're doing in terms of decentralization. So people could talk a lot of shit about Web3 and what it should be. We went out and made Web3 the way it absolutely should be. So yeah, super excited about that stuff too.
All right, the next question is when the Zelco wallet will be optimized.
So that's a good question, and I'm sorry, what was that? Okay, optimized. Okay, so we know that there are little glitches there, and I mean, we need to polish that up. We have hired 4 new devs over the course of the past couple days that are going to work specifically on UI and UX. We want to polish things up so it really feels. We worked on functionality, so security, functionality, usability. Those were our 3 targets. Now we're going to look at beautifying it, right? So I would rather have something that's functional, and by no stretch of the imagination, Zelcore is a beautiful product, but there are areas where we need to continue to keep optimizing and polishing. And I think the new devs that we're adding to the team, we added Vasilis, who is really an excellent developer as well. We announced 2 more devs that are coming on. I mean, we've hired like 8 devs over the course of the past, 3 weeks to get us to where, not to mention the ones that we've had people quit their jobs to go full time on Flux because, all of a sudden the game has changed for them. So we're adding, lots of developers, and part of that is, identifying opportunities to kind of cultivate those. So if you have recommendations, that's the other thing. If you got like tangible recommendations about particular items you'd like to see in Zelcore, or you'd like to see polished in Zelcore, let us know, because we just did a survey. We got hundreds and hundreds of responses and things that we can look at. So I appreciate everybody that took the survey, and I think we'll continue to keep working on those things to polish that out in the future.
All right, so next one is any plan to add staking on all exchanges?
Staking on exchange.
I mean, besides CoinMetro, is there any plans?
Yeah, I would say this. I would say that there are probably 2 fairly decent sized exchanges that are looking at that long term. It's not an easy lift. What CoinMetro did and the way they set that up. I mean, people go back to the days of shared nodes, and everybody was kind of super concerned about that. I know for a fact how their infrastructure runs, and it's a very advanced, and they're using at the back end, they're using Zelcore. So, to me, that makes me super happy because, the infrastructure is good because we run it. Essentially, I mean, now you always got to do your own research, and I never recommend, unless you're comfortable with it, holding your assets in exchange. I don't care who the exchange is, not your keys, not your crypto. So run a node. That's the easiest way to do it. And we're going to have a halvening coming up. The collateral is going to drop. More people are going to be able to participate in the network. We have identified some areas where we want to actually augment or add an additional tier, but we'll talk more about that when I'm on with Ryan next time about how I envision that coming down. So
yeah, and I just want to add in also that in the past we have come across different projects coming in for sponsoring the shared masternodes, and we always used to let them know that it's not your keys, not your crypto, so we don't trust the other projects, right? So running nodes is the best way to go if you can afford it.
Yeah, I mean, and we make it easy. I mean, I have a Raspberry Pi laying here somewhere that I'm working on to run a node at home. I mean, I mean, once the collateral drops, if you think about it this way, if you run one node today, you can run two nodes sometime next year. So there's really lots of opportunities for normal people to get into it, and we'll talk more about what we're thinking about. I can't really talk about that right now, but we have a really super good idea that we're going to be implementing right around the same time we're doing the node happening. So lots of work being done by Jeremy Anderson. Jeremy joined the team. He's kind of leading that charge. He is the ex Ravencoin. I think he was the creator of Ravencoin. Really, I mean, I think he's the one that helped facilitate the first block, if I'm not mistaken. But he was working with Raven with Raven for a long time, and now he's kind of our guy on our side with the developing chain node, the deterministic nodes and things like that. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming there.
All right. So next one is: can we request coins to add for Zelcore?
What was it? It didn't pop up. Oh, can we?
Oh, it didn't pop up yet.
Yeah, I mean, you can always ask. We have a roadmap that we identify, and obviously we'll adjust it if there's something that's the community is really pushing for. In the past, we've done community votes where we'll put 3 or 4 projects out there that we believe are really good projects that would be a good fit. I think the last one we did was, I want to say it was Raptorium, but it could have been Solana. I don't remember, but yeah, I think we'll probably do another one of those. So I'd say stay tuned for that. You can also in our Discord under what is it, Ollie? Suggestions or community or whatever it is, community suggestions. I don't know.
For adding the coin, you say?
Yeah.
There used to be a request form. I'm sure it's right there. We can figure it out. But I think it is on the. It may be on the website. It might be on the Zetaco.io. I have to double check that.
Yeah, cool. Hey, are we taking some questions? Because I see some good ones coming in on the chat. So, do you want to grab some of those too?
Let's see.
I like that one that just came in from Shea Rot.
Let's see if I can see it right now. The last one. Okay, I got it. There you go.
Well, there's 2 of them there, and I'd like to address both of them. The one about Flux doing something similar to PayPal for crypto, and then the one above that.
Yeah, so this is the one I just right. Yeah. So it says, can you see the screen?
Yep.
The question. Okay. So beyond all those good works and nice projects, updates, what are those marketing campaign happening like learn, trading, competition to increase overall communities for Flux?
Yeah, so marketing and PR is busy as all get out. I mean, you can obviously see the traction that we've been having in many different ways. A lot of people focus a lot on the marketing and not on the tech. We did it the exact opposite. We built for almost 3.5 years, and then we started to work on our marketing. We wanted the organic growth. We wanted the people to support the project at its very early infancy. And that's exactly what happened is, we have people that are continuing to support the project and are part of it. And help build that infrastructure. Now is the time that we want to address marketing and PR. So I'm not a huge fan of trading competitions because I don't feel like the flux that is in those trading competitions actually makes it to the people that are winning and doing the things they're supposed to do. We've had experience in the past. One successful campaign we had where I know for a fact was the KuCoin trading competition. But once we kind of launch these comps, it's out of our hands. So where it goes and how they distribute it and whether or not it's fair, I don't know. So, I tend to try to stay away from those trading activities. And by the way, it really only benefits market makers and people that are large players in the space, run bots. The normal trader is going to get crushed in that anyway. So it's not something that I think we're going to probably participate in the future. Now, I would say if we would uplist to a larger exchange, I think you could see things like what Coinbase does with Learn, where you go in and you'll earn some flux to learn about the project. You could see this on a couple different levels, whether it's internally within their exchanges, the tier 1 exchanges, or whether we do something individually where we're beginning to train people about Flux and then reward them with, Flux if they're participating. So, I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, people, once they fall down the Flux rabbit hole, it's very difficult to come back out of there. So you really find every little aspect of the project, and there's still parts of the project even today that when I bring things up to people who've been there for a year or 2 years, and I was talking to somebody the other day, and I mentioned about Fetch being ran on Flux OS, completely decentralized. And like, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, it's been there for a while. So, it's cool stuff like that. So yes, training and education is probably going to be our best marketing piece moving forward. The other thing I want to mention is Zelcore is growing at an explosive rate. Like I can't, when KDA and Flux and all these different projects were at their zenith about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we were standing up new infrastructure ad hoc left and right. So part of that is just getting them to the product. And if you get them to the product, then they're going to see how good it is. They're going to stay. So anyway, marketing and PR is very busy. They're doing an amazing job. I think we had 7 million impressions over a 1 week span on Twitter. 7 million. That is insane. So good work to all the marketing and PR folks.
All right, so next question is a quick one. When the Flux node halving happens, will the rewards per node also halve?
Well, it kind of naturally happens that way because essentially you have a node and then you move to 2 nodes. And if you want to remain receiving the reward that you did with the 1 node, you have to run 2 nodes. So this is called hard scaling. We've done soft scaling with parallel assets where we gave holders of Flux and node operators and people in the ecosystem, we gave them essentially additional Flux to run additional nodes. That's soft scaling. Hard scaling is where we're actually working like what Bitcoin does. When we hit the halvening, if you want to remain at the same level of reward, you're going to have double the responsibility. So, and this halvening will continue to happen throughout the life of the project. This is how we scale. This is what makes sense to scale. So there will also be maybe a new tier added, maybe some new requirements for other tiers. But yeah, you're going to have to double up. That's what it comes down to. So, nice thing about it is you get 2 nodes and you get to run, them and you'll still be rewarded for them. So that's the good news. And of course there's work that comes with that as well. So I hope that answers the question.
All right, so next one is Flux doing something similar to PayPal for crypto?
Doing, what is it?
Is Flux doing something similar
PayPal
for crypto?
Well, I would say the answer to that question is yes. That is exactly what CoinRequest has been developed to do. If you haven't used CoinRequest, it's a great way to send and receive requests for payment. So it's almost like a invoicing system. So if Ollie and I go out for sushi and I'm like, I'll get it, just pay me back later, and then I get home and I'm like, you know what? I need to get Ollie's Flux back because I think Flux is going to go up. I can send him a request right out of CoinRequest. It pops up for him. You can send it on Twitter. You can send it on Instagram. You can send it in WhatsApp. You can send it by email. And the request comes in. You hit it. You launch it. It launches Zelcore and you make the payment. So this is super important as like we build out these new economies and we have these integrations inside of Zelcore. CoinRequest pulls it all together for requesting payments and invoicing. So I feel like that's the PayPal of crypto. I feel like the ability to receive and send in any platform. But it's crypto based. I think that's next level stuff. And why I know it is because PayPal's trying to do the same thing right now. They're developing a product just like it. So I think it could be, Vimeo style, PayPal style, whatever, Cash App style stuff right there. So if you haven't checked it out, coinrequest.io, highly recommend it.
All right. So the next question is: are there still developer grants of sorts? I'm developing a shared node pool application for Flux. Is it possible to get any kind of funding?
Okay, I'm going to answer that question, but I just saw one that I really want to answer. Rat Thunder 12 put up, can we get partnership with Uber or Airbnb similar projects? I want to answer that one next. So yes, developer grants are still active, and as a matter of fact, we've given out multiple grants, and the XDAO continues to be kind of the means for that. So if you have something that you think would be kick ass for the project, come in and put an XDAO request in for it. Worst thing that can happen is people can say no. So be realistic. Don't ask 10,000 Flux to build, a blog. I mean, make it realistic. Make it so that it doesn't waste your time and our time with building it out. But if you come in and let's say you want to stand up a mining pool and you need resources to be able to do so, XDAO is the place to do it, right? You got to justify why it's important and why you're going to be different and why it's important to be on Flux, and the community will embrace that. So yeah, we highly recommend all developers to come over. The other nice thing is Flux is free. We're giving away Flux. You can stand up infrastructure right on Flux for $0. You don't get cheaper than that. The servers that we're offering are on AWS for $140. We're doing the same shit on Flux for zero, and actually paying people to develop there. So, and how does that work? Well, our gracious, awesome, kick-ass, decentralized community steps up and provides that computational resources to make it grow. So that's how it works.
All right. So next question is: can we get the partnership with Uber or Airbnb, similar kind of projects?
Well, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm a super big fan of autonomous networks, right? I'm a super and autonomous business models, right? I could see an Airbnb, I could see an Uber that is actually ran on Flux in a decentralized manner in a DAO, where the individuals that participate in the network are the ones that provide resources and input on the model itself. Um, so the answer to that question is, is Airbnb going to go to Flux? Doubt it, right? But they might bring infrastructure there, right? But there is some enterprising young person out there right now who is going to figure out a way to create on Flux an autonomous network that does exactly that. Like if you think of VRBO or vacation rental places that are ran by the individuals, so they're determining what the rates are, they're determining how it's paid, they're determining what the governance model is. That is super powerful, right? So you're not at the hands of a CEO who's making the decisions that's going to affect those people that are out there in the trenches doing the jobs, right? It's literally the people that are doing the jobs that is governing that model. It's a reverse model. It's from the bottom to the top, and the top doesn't exist except in code. So yeah, I mean, I'm super excited about that. I think you're going to see one of the very first projects in Q1 or Q2 of next year launch that is going to be exactly like what I just told you about. And Flux is going to be supporting it all along the way. So, it's really, really cool thing to see people starting to build stuff on Flux. I mean, I've seen, nifty platforms. I've seen all this stuff coming in to us. Hey, we want to launch this on Flux. What do we do? Okay, well, this is what you do. So, yeah, I think we see it very soon.
All right. So next one is. Uh, okay, let's see if I can find the. Hmm. This question always comes up and on Telegram also in terms of the fees for the fusion. So,
Mm-hmm.
so for example, this question says fusion cells cost $4. If I'm buying $50 or $100, it will cost $4. Change flux BSC to KDA. Can we adjust that to a percentage?
Yeah, right now the way Fusion is set, it's a static percentage. Eventually, it's going to be more dynamic as we build it out. We're looking at some possibilities now to kind of ease that burden. Part of that is the fees on the primary network. If you're pulling from ETH to over to Flux and back again, good luck, man. You're gonna pay out their ass. ETH is so expensive, it's not even funny, and there's nothing we can do to control that because that's the primary chain. It might cost you a little bit of nothing in Flux, like literally a little bit of nothing. But what it does in ETH is just off the chain. So that's a serious glaring issue in DeFi, and one that, you know, as you see KDA start to become more mainstream and start to take momentum away from what ETH is doing, I think you'll start to see people gravitate toward other platforms like, KDA, Solana, and so on. So we're getting ready to launch Flux Solana next month, right? So if you were in for the snapshot, you're going to get your Flux Solana. I think you'll see a lot of really cool stuff with Solana, and I think you can participate in their DeFi side of the world, which is going to be dramatically cheaper to move from one spot to the other spot. So I feel your pain, man, and factually, it's just something that we have to deal with. We'll work, continue to keep iterating and working through it, but it's going to take us a while to get there. So I would say if you're doing Flux to ETH, wait, and do it when the gas is low. Other chains will be kind of adjusted manually as we go forward. So, and then eventually that'll be more dynamic. We'll tie it to fetch and moving rates and things like that. So we have some plans there.
All right. So next question is there a development plan to allow using coin request as a retail payment gateway to allow online stores to accept Flux and other coins for shopping cart payments?
Well, you just hit the entire thought process of what Coin Request will develop into, right? So Coin Request is right now, it's kind of a medium to get people comfortable with requesting and sending directly from not only Zelcore, but I think we have I don't remember how many wallets we have. You can use all these different wallets that are already been created. So that way, if somebody has I don't even know. I'd have to look at what the wallets are. But if you have another wallet that's supported, you can still work back and forth. And I think that as crypto continues to grow, the need for those payment gateways is important. But the difference about that is other people are doing payment gateways and they're doing them effectively. But we can capitalize on what they're doing by doing integrations into Coin Request. Once you've laid the foundational groundwork, so people are comfortable using a product, then you can add feature services on top of that make it super seamless. So the answer to the question is yes, I do believe this will be a retail payment gateway someday. I do believe that the symbiotic relationship with Zelcore, centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, liquidity providing, I think that all pulls things together. So, if you're looking at this circular motion, we're bringing it here, and we know we need to bring it here the rest of the way, and then that ecosystem all works together. I hope that explains your question.
All right. So next one is can you spill the beans on the Flux / KDA 2.0 development coming this quarter?
Can you spill the beans? Well, I can share that what we're doing with KDA as a trusted partner, and Cadix and some of these other pre-search and those other ones. There's a big development roadmap for all of those folks. So I would say hang loose and keep your eye on the beginning of December timeframe for some additional input. Going into next year, we have some really awesome targets for the KDA and Cadix family. We're working with them very regularly. And I think there's a wonderful opportunity to really push both of those projects into this, continue to keep pushing them into the spotlight and providing them infrastructure on the back side that they need as well. So it's really a amazing use case. Will was on with Ryan the other day and talked about if given the right context, that we're the AWS of blockchain, and I believe that, and he believes that too, because we're seeing it work. This symbiotic relationships work. So remember, this is always emerging technology. There are always going to be challenges. There are going to be things that we have to work through, right? It's not turnkey. This is, you guys, or anyone listen to this live stream or participating in this ecosystem, you guys in the bell curve of adoption, you guys are right here. So we've got a long road to go and a lot of fun shit to do. So just know that your suggestions are important. Keep them coming, and we'll keep working real super hard to make sure that we hit those targets.
All right, I can take this question. Any update on the full node to not they lose our flux on the full node? So the answer is yes. So we already have the light node, flux node set up available now. You can actually set up your flux node on light node wallet. Walter did a good job. I already have completed the guide. I'm probably going to be publishing it very soon. I just want to make sure that I have all the right steps in without any skipping any steps in there. So the short answer is yes. You don't have to use the full node wallet now to run the Flux node. Everything can be migrated over to the Light node wallet. So in this case, you won't be losing your funds in case your wallet gets corrupted or your blockchain wasn't synced for whatever reason. And that was majority of the complaints before, people losing funds because of this wallets getting corrupted on full node. So hopefully, once I release that the guide, I would highly encourage everyone to move your full node Flux nodes towards the light node wallet. So in future, you won't have this problem.
Yeah, and I want to just add there, Ollie. I don't think people understand how important what we just did with those nodes. We changed the complexities of being able to work with this ecosystem, really to work with blockchain, period, and made it more simplistic, easy to use. And not only that, we fixed a glaring problem, and that is people that were running nodes, they wanted Zelcore Plus for free. They'll now be able to do that in their light nodes, and they'll get Zelcore Plus for free. So for helping to participate and be part of the network. So that's some. I mean that release was absolutely one of the biggest releases in terms of stepping the node infrastructure up to the next level. So, and I've gotten so many compliments on it. So Volter did a really good job of that.
All right. So next question is there any plan making Launchpad on Flux?
Okay, so there, if you take a look at the roadmap and you scroll down through, you'll see a project called Jetpack. Jetpack is basically the equivalent of what a Launchpad would be. So you can have projects, whether they're developmental projects, like say somebody wants to launch that Airbnb for Airbnb on Flux, we can do that, right? And the team is going to help participate and push that forward. So I think really Jetpack changes. It's a full guide to how to use. And right now we have our business a development lead working on that. It's a full guide of how to use it and how to get support around it as you launch your project. So maybe that project is looking for a funding model at some point, and we can help help facilitate that, whether it's adding them to Zelcore for asset storage, or maybe they want to do their legal offering, whatever that may be, maybe like a legalized token sale in the States or something of that. Then there's the possibility for that as well. So I think you'll see a lot of that. I have no less than probably 10 projects that are looking at some level of iterative process to get their project to Flux and then get it into the hands of the Flux community as well. So I would say this: we're not looking to be like Binance scenario where they're doing IEOs and things, ICOs and shit like that. That's all garbage, right? What we're looking to do is help put the projects in a position where they can have equity sales. They can have, if they require a VC firm to come in and help them develop their project. There's different models of how that, and maybe a legalized token sale. But that's how I envision it happening. And I think it's super, super, super important to have that piece. And Jetpack is going to be exactly that.
All right, so next question is, at the node halvening, will the Nimbus tier node still receive KDA after halvening?
Yes.
That should not be changing anything. So yeah, you still receive.
No changes on the KDA node program anytime soon. I mean, I think we'll probably add some more complexities to it, unfortunately, guys, because they're growing and they need additional resources. But yeah, I mean, people that are running the KDA chain web data and their node on the nodes, they know that it's work, man. It's not you're not just getting magic money. You're putting some serious fucking effort in.
All right, so I'm gonna pull some questions from the AMA, uh, from the Discord side. Okay, this one I'm gonna pull this one up.
I'm going to answer one real quick. Any
Okay.
updates on the Firo node integration? Keep your eye on the December timeframe. We're you can already run a Firo node on Flux, so just keep a tight eye on in December.
All right, let's see. What's this question is? Say, Daniel, we love your team and project. Can I ask, can you help Metaverse in the future with Web3?
Man, that's a good one. I mean, that's a difficult because I am the don't be evil guy. I don't like what Google's doing. I don't like what Facebook is doing. I think that it's very hard to. I mean, if they would have a commitment, kind of like Jack and what he's done at Twitter, where they commit to open source projects and decentralized projects, I could see us definitely helping facilitate that. And as Facebook tries to repair, or Meta, whatever it's called now, as Meta tries to repair their image, because their image is super tarnished right now, I think decentralization is a way to go from them. Do I see everything being on Flux tomorrow? But no, I don't. But I believe if anyone that knows that Web3 is probably the most important piece of and I would go as far back as Bitcoin in terms of the need to fix a problem. So I would say they were probably already thinking about this in the grand scheme of things. Some of the larger people that we've had reached out to us, they are very clear about what they believe Web3 will become, and they know that it's going to change kind of the game. So the answer is yes, we would help them do that. Yes, we could help facilitate that. Yes, they could do it on Flux, and I think Flux fixes a huge problem for them. And I think that's the push in the right direction to repair their image. That's how I feel about it.
All right. So next question is there any plans to integrate with accounting or other crypto tax software?
Hell yes, we got to pay the tax man, guys. I mean, one thing you can't get around is not paying your taxes, right? We're all cypherpunks at heart, but none of us want to go to jail. So let's all make sure we pay our taxes. And Zelcore is working with a couple of people that are providing tax reporting software. Right now in Zelcore, you can export all of your transactions out of your, and I believe it's even available in full node as well. So there is no excuse, because we have some partner projects that we're eventually going to work with for full integration. But this year alone, get your transactions, get them printed out, make sure you pay the tax man, and make sure you guys, everybody can be participating in this for a long time to come. So yeah, we want to make it super easy. And eventually, I think with coin requests, I think you could see the ability to have your tax process and your invoicing and your business model all in one kind of fail swoop, so that you could do an integration into, let's say QuickBooks, right? So, I mean, we're maturing very rapidly, and in that there are responsibilities on all of us, and we have to make sure that we abide by those responsibilities.
All right. So next question is, says decision has been made by the team to proceed with the halving in Q2. This is a big one that could have used an X style. It's like a bit like Flux holders or shareholders without an actual say in the company. And I'll just continue this question. Strategic moves. What do you plan to improve that in future?
Um, So I'm just going to be straight out honest. There are items that go through the XDAO that are very important, but as far as scaling the network and building the network out, we're not going to continue. We're not going to do what ETH does, where we get the community fighting about direction. We in the original white paper we addressed this, and we said that there would be happenings. So I would say if you're participating in this project, your expectation is to continue to scale, and we're not going to sit still. We're not going to fall into that, that category where nobody is tribalistic. Everybody's pissing about what they think is going to be the next steps. It's just not going to work like that for us. There are other projects you can go to where you can be involved in that drama, but that to me, core fundamental pieces of the white paper and development, that's not an XDAO. Now, if you have something that's going to run on the platform, or maybe a project that you want to build, that's XDAO stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And as we continue to grow, it's going to come up more and more. And I'm going to say the same thing. If it's a core tenet of the project, we are not altering it. We are not going through the XDAO. We are going to scale this thing and build it just the way we have for the past 4 years. And that's just how it's going to be. So, I sometimes you just have to say no, and we're not going to do that. So, the XDAO is very, very powerful for the governance model. But the development of the technology needs to move forward. I hope that answered your question.
All right, so next question is about the Zelco to KuCoin transfer. It takes about 40 confirmations, roughly about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Is it possible to speed up this uh, process, probably for the deposit?
No, and I'll tell you why. We have particular facets inside of Flux that prevents 51% attacks, and part of that is the reorganization of the chain. And that anything at 30, if it goes over 30, if we're attacked, it'll basically shut the chain down. By keeping it at 40 at all of these exchanges, it basically protects us from a 51% attack. Now, granted, there are other pieces to the project that currently are working for 51% attack, and we're going to continue to tap into the node structure to help that. But we don't want to run into an Ethereum Classic or some of these other projects who got double spended on major exchanges, and that hits the news stream, right? Because really, anyone that knows anything about 51% attacks, it isn't just 51% of the hash, just 51%. Then you have to have control of the nodes. You have to have all these different facets, right? But the PR and publicity around that is detrimental to any project's growth. So we're not willing to risk that for a quick turn to the exchanges. We tell all of our exchanges to keep them around 40. Some of them, I think, are set. They'll go down to 31, I think, because the 30 is the number. So anyway, there's no change. There will be no change as additional exchanges are added. That is what it is. So, I'm sorry, but we've got to think of the integrity of the project, and we can't risk that. So,
All right, so this question is: are there any plans to add statistics of how much of the node services are being utilized by the dApps and storage in the Explorer? I think watching the growth of use cases will be valuable for Flux.
oh yeah, I want to correct. I misspoke. It wouldn't shut the chain down, but it would. Little Stats just mentioned in the comments. It would be valid on the longest chain, right? So essentially, you would have to have the longest chain. So, but the long story short is it's a protection for the project. And then I'm sorry, Ollie. What was the question again?
All right, so it's basically asking if is there any plans to add the statistics of how much of the node services are being utilized by the dApps and storage in Explorer. Think watching the growth of use cases would be valuable for Flux. He's looking for statistics on the
I think that's a
running
great
the dApps
idea.
on the Flux.
I think that is a great idea. I think that could be something we could add to the dashboard as we build it out. I'd say once we get over, and probably will be very quickly, if not by the end of this year, moving into next year, we'll have over 100 dApps launched on the platform. And then I think the statistics can start to be displayed. Right now, we want to make sure that we're working on how we display those statistics, right? And the value add to that as well. So I would say priority wise, it's not top of the priority, but when we get over 100 DApps, then it becomes a priority. So we're doing some rework on the dashboard, and that could be one of the things that we definitely add, because I think that's super cool.
All right, next question is about 30 dApps in 30 days. Without giving too much away, which dApp are you most excited about?
All of them, man. I like every time I hear about another one, I'm like, I didn't think it got better than the last. I'm super excited about the expansion of the Minecraft server. We're actually going to be working with some of the big folks out there that run Minecraft server who have been bitching about the price of running like a very high end Minecraft server. And we're going to work for them to test it out and start to move some of their stuff over to Flux, which is kind of cool. I mean, the attention that we're going to really work on in the 30 and 30 is the gaming sector and the business sector, right? We want to add lots of game, because I believe there is an untapped model of participation with gamers, and the demographic of those gamers is exactly what we need to have, right? So the demographic works well, and I think you tap into those developers. I could see, honestly, you could see a World of Warcraft server running on Flux. You could see, we're going to see Counter-Strike servers running on Flux. I mean, these are all things that are super realistic and can happen. So, I think the gaming sector, the business sector, I think those are all areas where you're going to see 30 and 30 really shine.
All right, so next question is, let's see, any plans to change Zelcore's name to FluxScore? I think the rebranding would help Flux visibility in the social media.
This question comes up quite a bit, and I don't believe so. I don't think we need to do that. And I think a lot of times when projects, try to align everything into one space, it's the people that are using Zelcore are Flux users, but they're also other platform users. So you got to remember, brand recognition in the space is really super important. And if we would change the name of Zelcore, it would be challenging for us to build that name recognition up. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, right? I've made suggestions to the CEO. I've made suggestions to the team about what I think it should be, right? And I think you could see a campaign around that. I think you could see some soft rebranding start to come down the pike, maybe, hopefully. But it needs to be logical. Zelcore works with a marketing and PR company specifically around branding, and I think it's super important that they lay that groundwork out.
I'm just going through questions and see if I missed something here.
Captain Charles says Blizzard servers are trash. Would like to see WoW server on there, dude. I used to play WoW all the time, man, and I can tell you that their servers at peak times. Now imagine a server. So I used to play on Undermine, right? Imagine Undermine, but replicated on 5 servers, right? So if your load is too high on any one particular server, it's just a failover, but it doesn't change the server structure itself. You're still in Undermine, right? You're logging on, you're doing your thing. So, yeah, I think that is a super logical solution to that. So, yeah, very cool.
Okay, this question, it's going to be a little bit long, but I don't know if you want to skip it or explain it here, Dan.
Okay, fire it up there and I'll see.
Can you explain parallel assets?
Yes, I can. Okay, so this is a test. Okay, so can I explain parallel assets quickly in less than a minute? So you have your primary chain, okay? And you want to participate in other networks, right? So you want Flux, which is your primary chain, to exist in those other networks. So what parallel assets are doing is going to the native chains themselves to create a token that is exactly exact in their ecosystem, right? Now you can participate in these different platforms, And the nice thing about it is you can always come back to your primary chain. And why can you do that? Is because you had fusion in the middle. So if I have, let's say, flux KDA, and I want to run a node, I can take that through fusion and I can come back to the main chain. I can now run my node. Let's say I'm on the main chain and I want to move to a parallel chain. I want to participate in a liquidity pool down here on ETH. You take your main chain asset, go across fusion, back down, and there you are, right? Now, the nice thing about that is because it's really just a smart contract, how it's initiated, it just moves from main chain. Your coin no longer exists on this main chain. It has moved to the parallel chain. So that way you don't have, 2 or 3 or 4 coins, right, or tokens. You're literally taking it and dropping it from one bucket to the other bucket, boom, and back again. So that's kind of how parallel works. Why is it important? It allows us to basically participate in every major project out there. Solana, KDA, Binance Smart Chain, ETH, and natively on their platform. And it allows people to provide liquidity. They can stake. They can do different things with Flux. I mean, Ollie, I think it was last week or the week before, we were like the number 3 token on Binance Smart Chain. Like that was crazy. When we were having our run up and everything we were one of top 3 of most popular on Binance Smart Chain, and we have our primary chain as well. So I hope that answers your question. There's lots of information. I highly recommend going to our Medium. There's a primer in there it's called The Secret Sauce of Parallel Assets. Super, super good. Take a look at it, and I think that'll help answer any questions I didn't get.
Okay, so we're gonna take this last question. So we have to pick up the winner also for 100 flux. So
okay.
Let's see. All right, this is another question that comes on more often, so maybe we can answer this as well. Do you consider allowing smaller players to be able to run a node, let's say minimum of 1,000 instead of 10,000?
Smaller players to be able to run there. Well, this is one of those things that I want to tell you about, the ideas that we're having, but we need to kind of flesh out how it's gonna look. But I kind of talked about it or alluded to the fact that at some point, I think there will be the ability to have an on-chain shared node, right? Whatever that looks like, I can't say. But I think our thought process is to allow people with 500 or 1,000 or whatever the number is that we determine to be able to participate in the greater good. And why is that important? Because you'll have small companies that come in, you'll have small developers that come in, they want to participate in the ecosystem, and the larger tiered nodes are out of their price range, and they want to participate in that process. And we need to take the trust. We need to have, it needs to be a trustless scenario. It needs to be on chain, and it needs to be almost like you're locking a smart contract up and providing the liquidity that then provides the computational resources. So the answer to your question is we are really looking at these things as we go through the process and are having. And I think you'll see an announcement coming in December around what we believe that will look like. And I think in January, we're really going to have some real good talks with the community about how that moves forward. It's all yours, Ollie.
All right, so I'm going to just pick up a random number using this random name picker. So give me about 10 seconds here. All right, let's see this. And I'm just going to post this winner. Okay, so we have a winner. Let me post this here. So all right, so I'm gonna post this winner right now here. Let's see.
Ali, you can't give it to yourself. So
no, I was trying to do that actually.
Just keep roll, right?
Yeah, let's see. Actually, I put the. All right. Let's see. All right, so the winner is Daniel Alexander. Oh, Girard, is that right? How to spell it? Gerard David. So if you're here on the AMA, just give us some thumbs up or something. Or who is it? Uh,
Come on, Daniel or David. It's David.
Dave. Is it David? Okay.
David Alexander, are you in here? We'll have to start counting down, brother. You got to be here to win. Dirk Diggler's here. Hey, Dirk. He's going to buy a Shiba coin. That's not a good move. All right, let's go into the next one, Ollie.
Okay.
Guys, got to be on your toes here, people.
All right, let's see. I'll pick another one here.
Somebody said, I'm David, too.
All right, so that's another one here. Let me just...
Daniel has too much flux already. Not enough, bro. Not enough. I need more.
All right, so let's see this one right here. Oh man, what's it? Leon
Wagnilly. Yeah, Wagman. Wagman. I don't know if I'm saying your name
Wagman?
wrong.
Okay.
If I'm saying your name wrong, I'm sorry.
Yes, no.
My name doesn't match. Somebody said it's them.
My name doesn't match. Okay.
Come on, guys. We don't need any damn scammers on this thing. Ollie,
Yeah.
next time what you should do is put the winner but not the address and make them prove that it's them. That with the
Okay.
address.
Maybe I'm gonna do that next time. Okay, I'll just choose another one quick. Let's see.
Yeah, these guys got stuff to do. They got grass to mow or beer to drink. So let's get them, guys and gals. Let's get them to the next level here.
All right, let's see this one.
Yeah, you have to be in the chat to be eligible. That's correct. Dirk, there's a sign up that we do prior to the AMAs. We're having another AMA next week, and I think we already have 2 sponsors for that one, so there might be a nice giveaway next week.
All right, Fandy.
Come on, Fandy, let's go.
Come on.
I see Jay Penn in the group. That's my son. Don't give it to him. He's so thirsty. He just wants more flux all the time. He's asking me more flux, more flux. It's like, come on, man. Actually, he's going to end up being, he's running one of our merch stores now. So, he's getting into the ecosystem as well. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to make him work. Right. I can't keep giving him flux for free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, by the time he's going to be having more holdings than you.
He's pretty pumped,
getting
man.
there.
He's got. I would tell you, man. He's got a lot of people that got interested in the space, like like a grandma that that literally wants to buy flux, right? So she wants to just be along for the ride and see it all go down. So it's kind of cool.
All right, looks like Fandy's not here, so I'm gonna pick up this last winner now, and I don't know what to do here now.
Just do one more. Let's do one more. Let's do one more.
All right, let's see.
Everybody, you got like literally a minute to respond. If it goes beyond a minute, then you're out. Speed round.
Jonathan, anybody here? No. Yes. You picked me
Jay
first.
Ross.
Yes.
Rick Ross, where are you at? Rick Ross, you in the house.
All right. No. All right.
Orta says that's him.
Who?
Orta.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. He says, I'm here.
All right. So I don't know. My name was there first, and I'm here. The problem is I don't know. The problem is the they come in with a different name and they register with a different name, so I cannot tell
New
who's who.
new rules for next week. You have to be the name that you put in has to match the name that you are in this chat. So, and you
I
have to
think what
provide us
I
with
think
your public key.
I think what I'm gonna do next time, Dan, is I'm gonna provide the form right there at the AMA in the beginning of the AMA, and I'm gonna
There you
close
go.
that
That's a
form
good
right at the end. So at least I know they'll be coming from those AMA. All
idea.
right, so all right, come on,
Rolling.
guys, one last time, one last time.
One last time. One last time. If it doesn't go this time, we're moving it to next week and we'll double it up.
200 flux.
Yeah, what the hell? Why not? Let's
I
live
gotta
large,
put my.
Ollie.
I'll put my entry in there as well then.
No. Let's get some of that cheap Ollie flux that's been hanging out there for
Yeah.
years.
All right, let's see. Last one. Last one. Oh, okay. Ramos Pineda Oriana Recul. Is that right, Dan? Am I saying it right? I want to piss somebody off here.
Ramos. Yes.
Ramos. Okay. Come on. Nope.
Raquel Oriando Pianda Ramos.
All right, I
30
think we're gonna
seconds,
skip.
guys. Okay, you guys are brutal. Okay, so this is what's going to go down. We're taking that 100 flux. We're going to roll it to the next week. Next week, we're going to give away 200 flux. We're going to change the rules a little bit because clearly there's some serious popularity here, but we need to clean it up some. So we'll have the AMA at the beginning of, or we'll have the sheet that you can fill out at the beginning of the AMA. Your username has to be clearly defined in your submission because we're going to call the username, right? And you're also going to have to provide your public key so that we know that it's actually you. So thank you guys for coming on today. I really do appreciate it. 200 flux, which is like $1 zillion, I think. Next AMA. Yeah, that's it's a crap load. It'll be even worth more next week, I believe. So let's do this, guys. So thanks again, everybody, for coming on. You guys are amazing. So take it easy.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.